Basketball world, what up? This is Chase Down Hoops, and I'm back with some more basketball. Now, I would like to, thank everybody for the viewership. Thank you for tuning in, and to reassure you guys that this is a channel all things NBA, all things basketball, but this is not all things Cavaliers. This is my second video, and my second video about the Cavs. That's just coincidental, for the fact that everything that's going on in the sports world right now, in the NBA world, pretty much is revolving around Cleveland in some form or fashion. Whether it's the poor play in January, going 7-8, whether it's the trade rumors with Carmelo needing a playmaker, LeBron doing his media complaining and whatever you want to call that. But this is all basketball. I just want to be clear about that, and both videos just happen to be about the Cavaliers. So I just wanted to do a quick little video, try to keep it as short as possible, but that is what it is. I was just sitting back in my my spare time right now, and I like to read. If I'm not reading books, I'm reading sports articles, mainly basketball, because that's my love, really. And I read some. I'm strong in my opinion, so I would like to see where everybody else is coming from in theirs, and just reading a few about the Cavs, and I'm seeing everybody, cite what's wrong with the Cavaliers, except for what's actually wrong with the Cavaliers. And to me, it's plain and simple. Like, it's as simple as it possibly gets in basketball. And that is, you don't play defense, you lose. That's as simple as it gets, in my opinion. Watching the Cavaliers forever, I see what's going on, and especially this year. We hit a certain point where we just stopped playing defense. Even in a lot of our wins, we have so many lapses on defense, and for stretches, not just one or two plays, but it's a game of stretches when it comes to the Cavaliers defense. And a big part of the defensive issues is a point guard play, and it's interior defense, man. This season, Dellavedova is he's in Milwaukee. And for somebody that came off the bench and faded, towards the end of the playoff run, he was actually a pretty good defensive anchor coming off the bench, pressuring point guards, keeping them from, as best he could, keeping them from the paint, keeping them in front of them, and putting as much pressure on them as possible. But that's not here right now. The Cavaliers don't have somebody that could pressure the ball like that. DeAndre Liggins, he did what he could, but for some reason, which is, I'm not going to say some reason, this is offense is keeping him off the floor. He's kind of limited on the offensive end, but his defense was pretty good. Evidence of that was, his performance against Steph Curry on Christmas. That's pretty much the standout game, and showing his defense and what he's able to do to stop penetration and keep pressure on a good point guard. But for the most part, he's a two guard. But at the point guard position, as of right now, the way things are going, we don't have anybody to stop penetration into the interior. And when you don't have somebody to stop the bleeding from the outside, when the opposing guards are going in, we don't have much shot blocking. We don't have much, I'm not gonna say just shot blocking, but just presence in general. Tristan Thompson is decent when it comes to working the interior. He's more of a hustle player. He's not I'm a protect the paint type of guy, on the game in, game out basis. That's pretty much it. I mean, the interior defense and the point guard, the point guard position, they get killed. The Cavs get killed by point guards, no matter who it is. You could be a star, you could be coming out the D League. Yogi Ferrell just lit the Cavs up when the Cavs just visited Dallas, the Mavericks, and lost. Yogi Ferrell, he put on a great performance, and the Cavs couldn't stop him. And that has a lot to do with the defense, man. I mean, you can't stay in front of a point guard and you don't have the interior presence to alter anything. That's just the issue. You got Tristan Thompson down low. Kevin Love's, even when he's playing, he's not like a big rim protector. He's not a rim protector at all, really. He does a lot of great things in battling in the paint and things of that nature, but for the most part, he's not great at protecting, the paint. Let's just be clear about that. And after Tristan, Birdman tore his ACL about a month or two ago. He's been out, so there's no presence coming off the bench. The person that's coming off the bench behind Tristan is Channing Frye, is a 3-point shooter. He gives you good effort on defense, but it's not that game-altering interior help that's needed for the Cavaliers, especially when you get beat off the dribble damn near every time you get back on defense. So to me, it's just that simple, man. It's the defense we're struggling, and last but not least is the effort of LeBron. You watch our games. If you watch the game, actually not the highlights, because LeBron's been putting up some decent numbers, more better than decent, but triple-double type numbers he's putting up. But I feel like fans get dizzy behind a triple-double or numbers close to a triple-double. Everybody's dizzy behind that. They're enamored with the stats, so they ignore everything else, especially if you're only watching highlights or if you're only watching the scores and the stats scroll across the bottom of ESPN or Fox. You see those stats and think, oh, he played great, because that is a great indication of somebody having their fingerprints on the game, no doubt. But if you watch the games and not the highlights, you will see LeBron's effort on defense is sorely lacking, man. His presence is just not there. He's not contesting shots. He leaves a guy open, and he's not closing out. It's like he's trying to save energy for the playoffs, but in the meantime, you still got games ahead of you, man. Like, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? You standing there looking crazy, and then when something bad happens, it's because of you, but you try to put it on other players. You looking at your guys, waving your arms and trying to shout at them for something you were supposed to do. That's what LeBron has been doing. He kind of has a history of doing it, though. That's the thing. If you watch the boy, he's a great. I love LeBron, but these are things that he does on a regular basis when it comes to playing defense. As of late, overall, great defender, man. We know that. He plays great defense, plays the passing lanes well. He's a good on-ball defender. Playing defense, he had a couple standout. In the loss to the Spurs, he played pretty decent defense, namely on Kawhi Leonard towards the end of the game and overtime. In that last 3 minutes of regulation and overtime, he held Kawhi to 4 points, man. Kawhi was killing them. He was killing the Cavs. And it was mainly on Shumpert and RJ, Richard Jefferson. But they weren't giving that much, it was nothing they can do. No matter what you did, Kawhi was going off. But, LeBron stepped in late in the game and in OT, and, he held him to 4 points, man. He altered a lot of shots. He was doing what you normally seen of LeBron in the past years as he got better and better on the defensive end. But this year, I see a lot of blaming, on defense, blaming on offense when he turns the ball over. According to him, guys aren't where they're supposed to be when he makes a pass, or he jumps and tries to throw a wild pass to bail himself out. And, it's a lot of finger pointing with him, man. It's kind of, as a fan of the Cavs, it's frustrating to see. Even as a basketball fan, not even just me as a Cav fan, just a basketball fan, it's like, man, own up to what you do, and not try to shift blame on everybody else. So, it's just what I see. I see a lot of complaining from him every time. I don't see the king right now, man. I don't see the king. Like, I see flopping ass Bron complaining on every play. He go crashing to the floor. He jump up looking at the refs, wanting to foul. Hella turnovers, man. Like, we just got to take better care of the basketball. Like, those are the things. That's the main issue with the Cavs. I tried to keep it short. Is defense from the point guard position, and his defense on the interior that's almost non-existent. And that's plaguing the Cavaliers. That plagued them all January with this below 500 record. And it's LeBron James. It's his play. You're not seeing that super leader that you normally see on the court, on the floor, with the rest of the guys. Like, as a whole, his defense is just not there, on a consistent basis the past, month and a half. So I mean, to me, that's all that's wrong. I mean, I believe the general manager, David Griffin, is going to address these issues. I think the Cavs are going to tighten up, get it together. And, you know, with J.R. Smith coming back, you know, in the next couple months, it's going to be tough, but, you know, he's a big reason why, you know, things are going the way they are. Like, he affects how the Cavs run the offense. You can't just replace him with just another shooter. That doesn't work like that, because he brings a lot to the table on the defensive end and as an offensive player. You know, when he's there, it puts guys in the positions they're supposed to be in. So, I mean, it's other things that, you know, these guys aren't touching on in their articles and their writing. So I just felt like I needed to make a video discussing it just briefly, you know. And I'm gonna try to get back, you know, try to make something else today. We'll see. But for now, I just wanted to touch on that, man. What's actually wrong with the Cavs is not being discussed, so I wanted to discuss it. Tell me what you guys think, man. Like the video if you love it, you know, if you like it. Comment, you know, let me know what you think, and subscribe to the channel. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. It's time for me to take flight. Catch you when I land. Chase Down Hoops. 1.